this is going to be a twofold video today. We got some tools and we're going to give you some advice, tips, how to jack up your motorcycle. I hope it's okay. This is still a V-twin, but it's not a Harley. I don't have any of my Harleys here today. We got some tools. Let's talk about how to lift up your motorcycle. So the first one that we have, this is probably a more expensive option than even this Pittsburgh lift. This was actually on sale when I bought it. They are currently unavailable. They don't make them anymore or whatever. This is a Cage Racing lift. So this lift here, you would slide under the motorcycle and lift like that. So let's get this Pittsburgh out of the way. Alright, so lifting the motorcycle, say if you need to replace your shocks or you just want to clean your wheel. This would be if you need to do, say, suspension work or something like that. I use this on my lift, which will be included in the video. I'll show you that. But the first option here is this cage. So this is a 7/8 inch wrench. We want to try to center it where the motorcycle will have its weight distribution right. So you see the motorcycle moving, it's starting to lift it, and it's going to flatten out here in a second. So, the way we got it right now, it's more biased towards the front. Now if you needed to take a tire off, this is a perfect option. So, the motorcycle's sturdy. You could do work to it if you needed to. And we're almost at the perfect balancing point where we'd want to move it back a little bit if we were going to do work on the back. But there it is. There's that option. So when you let this down, you want to make sure that your kickstand or jiffy stand, according to Harley, is still out and the bike can lean on it. You may want to put this on the other side so you can monitor that. But if you trust your kickstand, let the bike lean over. There, it's on its kickstand. And the jack is free. One thing I did want to mention about the cage, if you can happen to find it on Amazon again, that was a super great deal compared to some of the other name ones. And that thing is heavy duty. So here's some of the brackets that they include with that lift. So you have these pads, you have the short style, and you have two of the longer ones. So if you need to get this on the frame, you can do that. I would assume, like if you had an adventure touring bike, something that was a little bit higher than a cruiser, you would use these to put underneath the frame so you can lift it up safely without using all of the travel of this cage lift. Now, depending on where the motorcycle drains its oil from, if it's in the pan or wherever, if you're going to lift this up, you may need to put that in a specific spot so you can drain that oil if you're going to do that. Let's go to the Pittsburgh lift here. You want to make sure that these pads will contact both sides of the frame when you put it underneath. So we're a little bit too far on there. but then you just start lifting. Now I have lifted the Road Glide up with this, no problems. It's good to go. So the movement you see is the twist in the frame of the jack. You can strap the motorcycle with these hooks that they make. There's 2 on the back and 2 on the front. And then you could secure this motorcycle so it can't fall off no matter what happens. Now, it does have a safety lever here that will clip back if you need to let it down. But if you want to lift it up and securely hold it at a certain height, if I can learn how to get this damn thing, this pedal right here will let the pressure off. There. See how much sturdier that motorcycle is once that lock is in place? Don't lift this up and not use the lock. That would be foolish. So once you have the motorcycle safely on this lift and this is locked down, you can turn these so the jack will not move around. You can, and that'll secure that in place so it won't slide anywhere. Because it is obviously on wheels. See, it's moving around, it's not going anywhere. These are very nice if you don't have to move the motorcycle around, or you just want it to stay securely in place. So, then to get this bike down, you jack it back up. Click this little safety back, and then slowly lower the bike down. Once you get to the top where it starts setting down on the ground, make sure you push the load back on the kickstand. Alright, so there's 2 of the 3 tools we have for lifting motorcycles. This one, I really do like it. I've had the Road Glide up on it with no issues. The cage I usually use on the table lift, and then crank it up if I got to do suspension work or anything such as that as the back tire. You can use it. If you tie it on the back of the motorcycle, you can lift the front to do front suspension work, pull your tire off, whatever. Usually what I will do though, is if I'm going to do front suspension work or change a tire, I will use this lift because it puts everything in a perfectly available spot. You know, messing around, no jacking it up with the cage on the table lift or anything like that. You can just simply pull everything off and not have to worry about it. So, on to number 3. Alright guys, so this is option 3 of 3. This is from Harbor Freight. I've had it for probably 7 years now, maybe 6. I actually bought this cheaper than they've ever had it again. It was $2.99. Normally it's like $3.49 on sale. This I actually bought for $2.99. First thing you got to do is ditch the wheel clamp that they have on this when you get it. That wheel clamp is garbage. Buy the one that they have there, Or like I did, I cobbled one together, made my own, because that bagger is big and heavy. So I want to make sure that it's safe on here. So when I get it up on here, I can quick clamp this down and the bike will stay and I can strap it down. So this is the bottom of the line for motorcycle table lifts. Quite honestly, sorry I'm afraid, but it is. You can buy these from another Chinese company too. They're just a different color, I believe. You can find them everywhere. This isn't garbage, but it does the job. It is not a great lift. It does the job. So, a few nice things about it. It does have this. You can pull this out. So if you need to work on your back tire, and you can put this there and jack it up, and then you can remove this if you want. Makes it a little bit easier. I don't see the point of this with this, but it is what it is. It's already there. So here, using the cage, you could put this up and jack the rear of the bike up. You can put this up front on the front of your frame and lift the front up if you're strapping it down from the back. It does the job. When I get my bagger on here, it's a bitch to lift. The jack underneath here is not a great item. You can pump and pump and pump, and then finally it'll start to go up again, and then it'll stop. Pump, pump, pump. I've tried to bleed the air out of it. It doesn't matter. That's the way that jack works. It's not good. I know there are people on the internet that have converted them to like the airlift, like air over hydraulic, or just a straight hydraulic lift. That works too. This will be a backup for when I get a better lift. This I would put like a long-term project on and just leave it. Put the sand bar in here and leave it. The other lifts are much better built. They're sturdier. They don't rock like this one does. When you get that bagger up on here, this thing, it moves. It points out the weak spots of it. But this is, if you do it properly, this is a safe way to lift your motorcycle. I usually leave the ramp on here attached. Not a big deal. When you go to put the motorcycle on here, you have to have these little adjusting feet down here. You have to have them down. Otherwise, the motorcycle will just push the wheels and it just moves it forward. Not a safe thing to do. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. It's the right price, does the job. It's good. Just get a quality wheel clamp. They make the one that uses the wheel force to put itself into place. That's a good option. They sell that. My buddy uses that on his trailer for us to haul motorcycles. Works mint. Never had a problem with it. It's great. But put a different wheel clamp on here, please. That one that they give you is not safe. So one thing that I did to this lift when I got it, their tie down spots right here are not in a good spot. If you want to tie that motorcycle down safely, you need to tie it down to the fork legs. That will keep that motorcycle sturdy and it ain't going anywhere. This just seems like a bad spot to have a tie down for your motorcycle. Just a word of advice, don't do it. Now, I reviewed the lift, the Harbor Freight lift. I will have that video coming out. It'll be a throwback video. I did review it when I bought it. I had, I believe, my Honda CB650 up on here. For a light cruiser, this thing's great. It's good. But when you start getting into the big baggers, or you get into the big touring bikes like this Suzuki, you want something a little bit sturdier, a little bit nicer. But, so this is 3 of 3 ways, or this is 1 of 3 ways to safely lift your motorcycle. Again, the cage, the other Pittsburgh lift, and then this Pittsburgh lift. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. These are the 3 ways that I have to safely lift a motorcycle. The Pittsburgh lift and this get used the most. This gets used strictly when it's on here. I rarely lift up a motorcycle with this just by itself, just for the fact that I usually have this lift or the other Pittsburgh lift, so I don't need to strictly use that. This I would bring with if I was going somewhere to work on somebody else's motorcycle. This would be the one to drag with if I needed to lift up the back tire or do the front. But thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Thanks.